Wouldn't you love to create your own personal oasis? What is an oasis, you ask? An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find at AJO Consulting Services, LLC. AJO Consulting Services is a company that provides individuals, communities, and businesses of color with coaching and consulting services, personal and professional development, as well as social and community connection services. These services include, but are not limited to, dating, life, relationship, and business coaching, finance management, travel experience curation, wellness navigation, and much more. Are you ready to find, connect, and release? Come experience your oasis today. Visit our website to learn more at www.ajoconsultingservices.com. Follow us on Facebook at AJO Consulting and Instagram at AJO Consult. Also, email us at info@ajoconsultingservices.com. Hey everyone, welcome to the Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Miss AJ. Thanks for tuning in. An oasis is something that provides refuge, relief, or a pleasant contrast, and that is exactly what you will find tuning into the Oasis podcast. This is a space where I and special guests will be cultivating intentional and honest conversations about life's journey. Subscribe everywhere you listen to podcasts and watch us on YouTube now. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Oasis podcast. Today we have Mr. Accountability Partner once more. Hey, Mr. Chad Scott.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me again.
Well, since the last episode, the wheels were turning, and definitely there's a lot of things that were said, and I said, we definitely have to touch up on this topic. So in our last episode on alignment, so y'all go ahead and check that out. Chad and I talked about just the different aspects of what alignment is, what it looks like in relationships, but also as an individual. And you mentioned the topic the part of the topic about men tending to kind of not pay attention to the fact that they're not aligned with a person, they're in a relationship that doesn't suit them, and they stay because they're afraid of being deemed the bad guy. And that right there was like, bruh, we gotta talk about that. I have so much to say about the topic, but most importantly, you're a man and you can talk about it from a different perspective, because I have my view of it as a woman, but I would love to hear your perspective about it as a man, as a relationship coach, and how that comes up in your conversations with couples, but also amongst your friend groups, right? Amongst your peers, of why that is and why y'all doing that. Like, why?
All right, so real quick, even before I became a relationship life coach, it always been a part of me as far as understanding what I need and what I want, and advocating for it, right? So even before that, even in my dating experience, I would be like, I need more of this. I need this. And I would have the conversation. I would go to the source. I didn't talk to the, people around me. I would go to the source like, hey, I need more communication here. I need more of this here. And I tell people even today when I date, I like to be on the phone more than text. I can read tone. I like to go on dates once a week. Date night. If life happens, I understand. Then we definitely double back the next week. I want transparency communication, right? So I'm saying that early. And then people, get caught up. Yeah, that sounds easy. And then when life happens, and then I will check and say, hey, this is not for me. What's going on? Can we make adjustments? And then I give grace, because I'm not, my acts are not a crazy acts. Give grace. And then it's like a job. You get checked in, written up once. We follow up, ask again. It hasn't been changed. I can't keep on being a dead horse. I'm going to have to make the executive decision. And what happened in guy groups and coaching, I see that a lot of men take on the burden, and it could be this whole concept of marketing. Happy wife, happy life. Just be a provider. Everything else, no one cares. So a lot of men will take that on as, listen, I love her. I'm not getting all my needs met, but I'm going to power through it. because I don't want to break up and the stigma of being the bad guy, or you divorced her with your kids. Like, all of those things come in mind sometimes with a lot of men, when they like, how can I communicate my needs and wants without it going left? Because a lot of women, you give any kind of criticism, it comes like, well, we said we going tit for tat. I got a couple, this is my demands. Like, that wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
And we talked about in last episode, you talk about how a lot of women had to create a safe space. But what happened with a lot of women is God feel like it's a trap. So it's like, if I be honest about certain things, she may get at me, and now it blows a totally different animal.
So many things. All right. I'm gonna start off by saying one of my biggest fears is being with someone who doesn't really want to be with me or in a situation, but they're so afraid of being the bad guy, hurt my feelings, because I'd rather you hurt my feelings early on to tell me what it is than it's like 10 years down the line, we got some kids, a couple of houses and dogs, and you're then like, don't do that. Don't do that. Hurt my feelings, please, because I'm gonna hurt yours. So we should no, like legit. That's one of the things I've like always had about, like, don't be unhappy and just stay with me for the sake of staying with me. And I know the last episode we talked about, looking at our relationships and like seeing when things were in alignment. But also, in that, again, hindsight review of a lot of relationships, one thing that was consistent with me is, again, you said that you were the one that would break up in your relationships. I was the one that would break up my relationships, mainly because shit was not working, right? But these men refused to be like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And that even in fighting all the time, drama, chaos, or whatever, they still like, no, we can make it work. No, we can. But why? You know what I mean? And I don't, even in having conversations, and I'm like, naming the things, but look, we don't do this. We can't do that. We can't. Oh no, it's okay. We'll figure it out. No, you're not happy with me. And I would literally say that, but you're not happy with me. You're not happy here. Why are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? And I always was like, why? It was different men, different walks of life. So I'm just like, it's okay if you hurt my feelings. It's okay to say you don't want to be with me. It's okay. Like, we're just not meant for each other. Yeah, it's not going to feel good. Who likes hearing that? Oh, I don't want to be with you. But at the end of the day, being with you hurts. Like, being with you doesn't feel good. So, it's a matter of like, which one you rather take. I'd rather be alone than be with somebody and feel alone and feel like you don't really want to be here, but you're just afraid to just walk away.
Yeah, because even with men, it's also the fear of the unknown, right? So if I break up with you, what that look like for me, right? What that look like as far as my satisfying sex-wise, right? What did I look for as far as where some people so focus on the routine of things, right? So that's why we so focus on routine that is like, once you break up, what am I gonna do now? And then people so hate the dating scene again. Like, I don't want to go back there. I don't want to go on Hinge. But if you don't address these things, it show up in other ways. Like, you go stonewall, you don't have the communication. Cheating may come now, present now, because you cheating now to kind of fulfill the void of attention you get in your relationship. Instead of having that conversation or leaving, you're now adding more factors that could be even more drastic if you just leave. But people have the ego for like, nah, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm working it out. But it's okay for men to be like, listen, I'm not happy here. Let's try to figure out, is there a way we can have this? If not, then I love you, but I love myself enough that let's just walk away. Yeah.
And that is so paramount. But I want to actually address what you said in your previous statement about a lot of men feeling like it's a trap. Because women would say, yo, it's okay, you can tell me. And then they turn around and be like, what? And then, or just like, give you the cold shoulder, or start treating you different. And you're 100%, that's 100% true and accurate. And I say that being a woman who used to do that, and I don't do that anymore. Right. And the fact of the matter is, as a woman, I can speak for women, or let's say a more mature woman, a woman who has done some work on herself. And it's true what they say, society has not designed us to deal with rejection, to deal with, oh, we have been told we're not good enough in certain things, especially Black women, but in certain things, hearing that does, you know what I mean? Like, how dare you? You know what I'm saying? How you gonna tell me? And I think that a lot more women would be open to hearing, you know what? Not that you're a failure, but you can do better in this area for me. If there is a greater sense of confidence in who they are, right? Higher sense of self-esteem, which I know you are big on that, and addressing with people, and understanding that just because at this present moment you're not good at something doesn't mean you're never going to be good at it, right? Or just because you were great at this thing with someone else, this is a whole new person. They require different things. And that's also a thing for men too. Like, don't come in here doing that one little trick you like to do, you know what I'm saying? And don't come in here doing this. And then when it doesn't get the same response, you're like, what's wrong with you? No, I'm a whole different person. You have to take the time now to learn me, right? And to see what makes me tick. But it's absolutely true. Women have been, I guess, portrayed as coming in as nurturers, but we don't always fully provide that full nurturing and create that safety that's supposed to come with the nurturing. And then we expect men to be like, come on, give me blah, 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 blah. And it's not to say that you can't have your feelings when things are addressed, but it's not your time in that moment to address that. You told the person, hey, you're upset. Let's talk about it. It's not now your time to be mad that he told you he was upset about something that happened last week because you asked him today. Right now, let that man tell you why he's upset, right? You asked, so be ready. And that's another thing, be ready for what you're asking for, right? And then you can have your feelings about it. So that's also a piece I want men to us understand. We're going to have our feelings about it, but it's not okay to punish you for sharing your thoughts and your feelings about it. And it could be addressed in another time, but not then. This is your time. This is your box. This is your space. This is your hour. This is your day. Okay. That shit is hard as fuck.
Listen, it's hard for us too, right? We get it all the time though. Women would constantly tell men everything they don't like about us, right? You need to do this, you need to do this. And then when a man say, hey, there's something that I don't like. What?
Yeah.
My God, you don't like, because I understand y'all prize. I understand. I love women, right? And I also understand that there's a lot of men that hate women but love sugar walls.
They don't really like women. Okay, but that's another episode.
Yeah. So I understand there are men that do not like women, but they like the sex. And I understand that, right? Yep. But for me, I generally enjoy women. Like I have a lot of women friends. I'm out and about. People think I'm dating everybody. They don't know what's going on with me, right? But with me is that I understand that they don't like sometimes that feedback. Even with me. And I'm not dating them. But me, they come with something, I'm like, so even my clients or even friends I know, I'll say something to them, they're like, it takes a little while to simmer inside of them a little bit.
Yeah.
They get ready in attack mode. And like, no, this is the time to listen. And a lot of times when it comes to women, I always say, men tell themselves all the time, if you listen. But you have a script in your head already that you should try to like, follow the script. You're not following the script. This is supposed to be here. We're supposed to be here at this moment. No. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. He is expressing concerns. If you're in a situation where he want to work, he's going to say some things he would like to see more. Now you can figure out ways to make it happen, but yeah, there's a conversation to be had. But the thing that men and women do that I never heard no complaint before, like you said before, this relationship is different. So yes, that one move is awesome, but it don't work for me.
I don't like it, bro.
And it's okay. We need to figure out other things. But like I said, people that caught up and all they heard was, you don't like something, and going in defense mode when this is the opportunity just to listen. And ask feedback and they have those conversations. And like we talked about last time, with these card games help. Especially have a conversation you wouldn't think about having before.
Yeah.
Because it allows you to create that safe space, to have a conversation, get that person feedback, ask some questions, and also ask yourself those questions as well, and have a good dialogue.
in a non-threatening way. The card games allow you to do these things in a non-threatening way. Honestly, because it's not like, oh, you had this question in your head and you just ask me. Nah, the cards. I said it. But before we even jump into that, because I love these card games and we're definitely going to talk about that, is talking about doing all this shit is hard, but it is necessary, right?
Yes.
But let's talk about, you being a man, but you also having peers and hearing these conversations about maybe couples and relationships, or maybe you can see it, right? Because you had the bird's eye view of these things happening, of you sensing or knowing or hearing when men are like, they're not happy and they are just so afraid of being this bad guy. Like, talk more about kind of how that presents itself and how you typically see those relationships kind of go.
Well, what I see the signs of mostly stonewalling that men do. Stonewall basically means that you shut down. You don't really talk. You like, whatever she says, right?
Yeah.
And what happens is a lot of men don't want to feel like the bad guy because they don't be judged by people, right? They feel like if I break up with this woman and it comes back that I'm the one who broke up with her, I'm the one that filed divorce, everybody gonna look at me that I'm weak. I'm just left fast. I don't care. You ain't make her happy. What did he do? You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets a very point where they don't even want to go through the headache. They just like, listen, let me just power through this, or let me make her break up with me.
Yep, that one. Yep.
So if she break up with me, therefore it relieves the extra. I be the all right. She broke up with me. I tried to make it work. She the one that cut it off. You know what I'm saying? So it's that narrative people try to spend some time, but it's like it does nothing at the end of the day. You the person that gotta look at yourself in the mirror every day. So no matter what the narrative of people say, you have to be honest about why you're not happy here. And then like one of the guys told me the other day that he's not happy in his relationship, but he's scared of, they live together and he's scared about what's going to happen to her after he break up with her. Like how he's trying to manage that in his head. Like, listen, if I break up with her, I don't know, can she go back to mother house? I know she can't afford to live by herself. Like, it was those kind of things he racking his mind. I'm like, listen,
she gonna survive, bro. No, like, I know that's so cool, but this is something that I gotta remind myself. I had to before I got stable space. Is this person survived before you?
Yeah,
they're gonna survive after you. It's not your job to, like, it's not your child, so it's not your job, right? To guide them through life, to have to shelter them, to have to make sure everything turns out good for them. It's not your job. You're gonna be in shackles your whole life if you're doing that for somebody. You're just going to be. And
you have to be, like I said, I understand. Some guys have the Superman complex, right? I want to save her, right? I want to save her. I got to save her. She need to be saved. If I abandon her, break up with her, where's her life going to be? So it's part of their ego too. But at the end, like you said before, they'll be okay. They will find a way and they will grow from this.
Yeah.
But you can't sacrifice your own happiness when you realize the odds is not aligned. Like we talked about last episode, they're not compatible. But you're staying here because you feel like a duty, or you feel like I'm as a sucker way to leave her or break up with her. And I get it. Like I said, most guys never really break up with women. They wait till the women break up with them. They would cheat and do all the kind of antics.
Right.
It's almost like somebody want to get fired from a job. You stop showing up.
Pulling out.
You're
right.
calling out. You're like, come on, you don't get hit, fire me, right? And like, it's okay just to be like, listen, I'm not happy here. Is there a way we can make it work? If it don't make it work, then I have to make the. And remember, men always talk about want to be a leader, right? You want to be the leader of the household. You want to be a leader of this. Part of leadership is making tough decisions. So you keep that same energy. If you're not happy here, see yourself as a leader and say, I have to walk away from here. Yeah. And okay with being the quote unquote bad guy, but your mental health, your is important. Yeah. Like I think people get caught, but you also matter in a relationship. I understand the stigma, happy wife, happy life, or relationship is about yes ma'am, no ma'am. I hear all that, but in the same token, is that healthy relationship is a balance. Is you're getting your needs met as well, and have those conversations. But a lot of guys trying to avoid those conversations because of the backlash we normally get. It don't really be a safe space.
It's true. And we got no, it's true. And I can't even sit here in front like, no, that's not true. No, it's true. It's true. I don't think that women provide men that safe space that they think that they're providing. And I think it also might be that mindset too. One, we also know in our communities, mental health hasn't always been a priority. Yeah. And so we are thinking, just like men thinking, I'm paying the bills, there's food on the table. She's thinking the house is clean, kids is good, there's a hot meal on the table. That's what's important. And they're not like neither is digging deeper to see, oh, what else can this person do? How else can I be of service to this person? And so now let's fast forward. We've seen this generations. And now we are now here, we get into these relationships and we're hearing all these terms, mental health and wellness and, talk your feelings. But then when we actually are experiencing it, that uncomfortability is just like, oh no, let's go back to how it was. And it keeps the men closed up like this, but yet we wanted softness and we wanted you to be emotionally present, yet the women are not understanding that you have to respond positively and create that consistent, sometimes no response space for you to allow him to feel comfortable enough to keep speaking. And by no response, meaning it could be something that's crazy hurtful in that moment. You want to go, right? But you just got to be like, okay. Okay. Like, all right. And he'll have to be like, oh shit, she didn't blow it. Oh shit. Okay. He gonna watch you for a little bit. He gonna give you a week or two. And like
people the eye open like,
like she didn't bring that shit up again. Like she didn't. Oh, okay. And so the next time you do it, he might respond to him taking a whole 5 minutes before he says something. He might take 4 minutes now. Be like, you know what? Yeah, And then that creates now that new pattern. But you as a woman, you as the other person, you have to swallow it. Like you have to. You can't want that person to open up and you're not going to allow them to actually do it, to hear what they're saying, to not get defensive, to not feel like it's a personal attack on you. Right? Like somebody having that particular experience or whatever with something that you did, whether the intention was good or not. Like, we definitely got to do better with that for sure.
And cause like you said, going on listening to it, just listen, right? But what happened a lot of time when there were clients one client, I was talking to them and she was like, Chad, it felt like I'm dating a bitch. Like it felt like he got all this, what's going on? Like, man up.
Ow. And
those terms is men would hear that. If they express their feelings, express something, oh, you just being a bitch. Man up. Oh, come on. You complain about that? Like, that's not healthy, right? So you have to understand, take a step back and let that person feel like there's a safe space, because in that moment, he shuts down forever now.
Yeah, it's true.
And then you wonder what's happening when he do break up with you or abruptly just leave you hanging, or you be confused, like, what he didn't even say nothing. No. You know what I'm saying? Like this is why we have to create those conversations. Like you said, we talk about now about mental health, but we saw how it looked in other generations. We saw how, guys died faster. Like we saw all these things and we looking at it like, oh, there's okay. And your body is very important. Mental health in your body is attached. That's why we talked about last episode where if you don't feel it, anxiety, or you feel some type of way in your body, it have to get addressed. You just can't keep on pouring it down. And as men, we do that a lot, where we kind of keep it all in. And then when we do explode, it's so big and so crazy, and it looks like something we can't take back or get far from it. So we have to address things early and have that conversation where I'm not going to get attacked if I say this. I'm not getting attacked if I say that. I mean, that's why even me, when I have those conversations, check-ins, and I talk about things I do enjoy, right? I love this, I love this, I love this. It just, these areas is where I feel like I will see, can we do better at, right? I like to talk on the phone. Let's figure this out. I think one time I had 2 jobs, right? I was working during the day, I had an overnight job, and the girl I was seeing at the time, I couldn't get on the phone to save my life. I just couldn't get on the phone. Her thing was, Chad, your schedule's so crazy, I go to bed early. So I can't play with you on your night job, day job. I'm doing my thing. So I said, you know what? What can I do to help? And what I did was, in between my nap time between jobs, I would try to call her and have the rapport.
Mm-hmm.
Still wasn't able to get her like I needed to get her. So in those conversations, it wasn't all angry or frustration. It was, all right, this is what I need. I'm also offering what can I do to support this way because it's my need.
Yeah.
Try to see it work, give the grace. And then if it's still not getting there, then having the conversation, checking about what's going on. I'm still not happy here. And not keep on being a dead horse, but having the conversation about what's the forward movement, what's the game plan, no blame game. What can we do going forward to get better at what we need to get better at? And then there's still no progression. You're going to have to make an executive decision.
Right. I was going to just ask you, what suggestions you'll have, what tools you would provide people to, you know what I mean? Like for men, what do you feel men would probably require and need to kind of get themselves to feel that they have the ability to speak up, right? To communicate what they want in the relationships.
Writing Our Own Stories Incorporated is an organization that embraces and uplifts authors of color and equips them with the tools and resources to write their stories. Writing Our Own Stories Incorporated provides seminars, workshops, and a collaborative writing group setting where authors can feel free to write. We believe in the transformative power of storytelling, and we will continue to make space for all stories to be told. Writing Our Own Stories Incorporated provides a safe and welcoming space for all aspiring authors to tell their story. If you're interested in joining our writing group or learning more about our organization, check out our website at www.writingourownStoriesInc.org. That's www.writingourownStoriesInc.org. And make sure and follow us on IG and Facebook at Writing Our Own Stories. Writing Our Own Stories, Inc. has released its debut book, For Black Women, by Black Women, an anthology of lessons learned. This debut anthology is a love letter to Black women and for everyone who loves, knows, or wants to support Black women. Purchase your copy of the anthology at www.writingourownStoriesInc.org. Again, that's www.writingourownStoriesInc.org.
But I feel like you gave some of them, but I was also about to say, and I'm like, I think a lot of us should really treat people how you want to be treated. But then part of me was like, no, because that doesn't always work. And why I say that is some people don't require much, right? Meaning they don't need much to function or be in that space. So then if you're now treating somebody else the same way, they may not want that shit, right? That's not enough for them. So then I guess now the question is, how I know my process to how I got there. And it was really me asking, okay, how do you not only want to be treated, but how do you feel you deserve to be treated? But again, that can't be like a blanketed thing, a piece of advice to give or tool to give, right? Because it took me really digging and it took work for me to be able to be like, okay, now I can do that. And I can then treat this person with this level of respect and regard, because that's what I give myself, right? And that's what I would want. But everybody's not necessarily in that same mental space. So what tools do you think you can provide to the men to speak up and the women to hold that space?
All right. So I know it's getting there, but men still not really into the whole therapy thing, right? So that definitely will help a lot when it comes to understanding your feelings are valid, understanding as men, we could have needs and wants as well. And not just being the burden or what character look at as men just being a provider. We could also understand that we also may need some things in our relationship to feel whole or feel confident and feel loved. When it comes to the conversation, I think with men is really figuring out, what are you asking for? Mm-hmm. What exactly do you need? You can't say, I just want more sex.
I was just thinking in my head,
yeah.
Oh, there was more sex when really you want more intimacy or you want more affection. Yeah.
What does that look like, right? And also understanding is what is, once again, about compatibility, but it won't come back to what we're talking about now. So a guy talked to me before, he got married, and he was complaining about the sex life is hard, right? It's not the best sex life. And she had a kid, so therefore the sex even worse now, right? So in the conversation I was having him, I'm like, listen, before you even got married, how was the sex life? Like, it wasn't really that good back then either. I said, so do you talk about it? He was like, nah, because I thought, eventually, we get married, it's part of the wifey duties.
Gonna unlock the freak.
So I'm like, you didn't have the conversation.
Right.
You worked on this whole thing. Now you're married. Now you have a kid. Her sex drive is even more. And sex may not have been top of her list anyway, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't want to have that conversation because you didn't want to rock the boat. Once again, F that boat. But you didn't do it, right? Now you frustrated and you're trying to justify me why you're cheating. And not really understanding how to have the conversation, right? So for me is that when it comes to men, is really being clear about expectations of what you're looking for and what you need, right? So if you want more intimacy or you want more sex, what does that look like? And also, are you creating that opportunity for that, right? Because a lot of times with men, they don't understand foreplay happens outside the bedroom. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So are you making that space of her getting ready for when you have sex? And if she have kids, how does that work? Are you hoping relieve some of the duties to get the payoff? Like I did. Like I want to talk on the phone more with this person because text message can't retone and I really want to have a conversation. Therefore, I said, you know what? I make a sacrifice between my nap to call you.
Yeah.
Before you go to bed. So my thing is, as men, really be clear about what you're looking for, but also solutions to help with the conversation. Mm-hmm. And with women, I think that's more about making sure you can't stay space because at the end of the day, you want to make sure your man's happy, not just you being happy. You want to make sure your man is happy as well being here. Like you said, your worst fear is being with someone like, yo, after 20 years, like, I really didn't like you. I was just going through the motions because I felt like that's what a man supposed to do is marry you. I got you pregnant, so I married you. Mm-hmm. No, you want to really be, this is my wife. I love her. So you should have the same thing about your man. Respect him enough that he should have an ability to have a communication with you and not taking the feedback as death. So I think that what men have to be really clear about what do you want and what is the solutions that you have, because she may address her concerns about certain things, right? And as a woman, it's about really understanding and listening. I understand you have a script in your head and you're mad that he trying to mess the script up, but please allow him to have the ability to express his feelings and you ask follow-up questions, but not in that bully. So you saying my pussy whack? He didn't say that. He said he actually wanted more, please. Or he will understand how the cooking may need a little more seasoning. Like it's just what it is about. We should all understand it's about growth. And what worked for this person may not work for me. And if you got an ego, once again, we talked about before, I had no complaints before. Maybe that person didn't want to communicate that. Maybe that person didn't want to rock the boat. He just like going through the motion, like, all right, this is what it is. No. But I'm saying something now. Because this is me and you relationship.
Right.
So I understand it worked. Back in the days, he loved your mac and cheese. That's him. Shout out to him. I prefer this, right? And just have the conversation without taking it as a rejection or ego shot. No. We're trying to work together as best way to get the, both happiness. Right. It's work. So I think that it is. I think with men, not only being very clear about what you're asking for, but also solutions.
Right.
And with women is understanding that it's not a personal attack. He just expressing his feelings, just like you want to express your feelings too.
Right.
So yeah, so we could love the whole Instagram vacation pictures and all that stuff too. But part of it also is the happiness with each other. That's the priceless part right there.
Mm-hmm. And that's that part of what we talked last time about the mind, energy that has to go in there, right? The work that has to go into it is these little things that people don't really mention, or you like, oh, I never heard my parents say, they had conversations about this, or I never heard my boys say they talk about that, because they probably not talking about it, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't, right? It doesn't mean that that's not important. Talk about these things, have that uncomfortable space. It's in those uncomfortable spaces and in those tension producing conversations that you realize we can withstand these things, and two, do I really, really want to still be here, right? And people are afraid to get into that space, because then what if the answer is no? Then the answer is no, and you go about your business. Like, and it's okay. It's okay. You know what? You know how many times I used to say that, like, yo, it is okay if you do not want to be in this relationship. Like, it's okay. And it's not to say that
you didn't care
about you. It's not to say you ain't shit. It's to say we tried.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't work. Let's move on. We don't have to keep why?
Or making it weird. Like I said, like it's and that's how dating should be, right? Dating should be where we go on dates, go on a few dates, get to know each other, and realize, like, I don't see a romantic connection, or I don't feel it this way, and it'd be okay. Mm-hmm. But some people don't know how to dial honor, right? So they get mad and get frustrated or feel this type of way, right? But it's supposed to be, you want to be with someone, you know, I think the Usher version is in my head, but the real version, was it Al Green or Ace? Doesn't feel good loving somebody, someone loves you back, right? Mm. Like, yes, loving someone is amazing, but loving you back, ain't that what you want? Yeah. Ain't that good vibes that you're both in sync, you both love each other? And so we're going to have difficult conversation. That's why even me, when it comes to women, ask me, you know, they hear about me giving these women rings, like, I want a ring too. And I'm like, listen, you want a ring, a wedding, you just want a wedding and a ring, or you want a marriage? Mm-hmm. It's two different things. Anybody get a ring? I get a ring tomorrow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like getting a record deal. But you want to be with someone that you're more aligned with, and therefore they're going to take growth, they're going to take communication, it's going to take work.
Yep.
And you want to be prepared for it. And part of the work is knowing your partner, knowing your partner love language, knowing your partner needs and wants. And if they vocalize what they needs and wants, don't diminish it or disregard their feelings because you feel like this is not that important. No. If I'm saying something, it is important to me. And we need to have the dialogue. But that's, you talking about that, whatever. Then not taking away from them doing, you know, shutting down or made stray is not justifying that. It's like, listen, we also got to take accountability. Remember, I'm an accountability partner, right? We also got to take accountability. What role that we create to create this atmosphere that we have right now?
Correct.
Just like if a woman's getting anxiety or she frustrated, a lot of times as a man, have we been consistent? If we're consistent in who we are, if we're consistent in how we show up, and she's comfortable in understanding what we're going to be as a character, she's going to be comfortable. She's not going to have that much anxiety. But the anxiety kicks in when confusion happens.
Correct.
So it's that part about accountability. I hear the situation, but now let's take a back level. What role do you play? Now you saying that you did what you did, you did the work, and it's still not connected. That's something else. But you have to take accountability about those things too. So like I said, when it comes to men, we have to be able to create the environment as well. And the woman got to create the environment that we can have a conversation of growth. That's the game plan. We're trying to grow this. So like even work, we're going to have the conversation and scale this business. We're going to have to find ways to figure out what do we need improvement on. No one's perfect. But we're just trying to figure out what can we work on that make me happy in this relationship. This relationship is unique. Every relationship is like a snowflake. I always say that. We just got to make what works for us.
Correct.
And we can't keep going at it. Last week, guys love this. Last week, women did this for me. We can have a conversation about it and see what works for this relationship currently.
Exactly. And you can't get to that space if you are not speaking up. You're not saying what you actually want. Oh, I'm not going to rock the boat. I think for me, I know for me for sure, I think this is a big running theme for me. But now, of course, you know, as I've gotten older, I'm able to really, really bring language to it. And for me, reciprocity is huge for me. It's paramount. And I know my boyfriend at this point is tired of me hearing that fucking word, but it's a reciprocity. But I think it's a word that I don't think a lot of us really pay much attention to. I don't think we really understand the weight of it. And it's not to say, you know, you gave me $10, I'm gonna give you back $10. It's not about that. It's more about like, and now I'm talking about the individual and I'm talking to the women because this conversation is really for men to be able to have that safe space. It's for us, and this is what I have to do for myself, is not to keep sitting there and be like, oh, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. I literally now, because I've gotten so used to it, I chin check myself. You feel me? I'll be like, but did you provide, la, 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 la. You know, and I have to be like, and that to me is a key component in reciprocity, right? It's like, okay, he bought lunch on Monday, so I'll buy lunch on Friday. That's cute. Yeah, okay. But it's a matter of, you know what? I did catch an attitude yesterday, and he was so calm with me through that attitude, right? I had a little mood swing. And then now today, he all huffy and shit. So am I gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Now I gotta be like, I'm going to be calm and hold the space for him because he may be feeling things that he's not ready to talk to me about. Does it feel good? And so is it easy all the time? No. But to me, that is the key component of reciprocity, right? Allowing that person to be and feel the same things you want them to allow you to be and feel, you know, giving them that same amount of trust and loyalty and yes, all that essential, but also listening as much as you would like that person to listen to you, right? Also being present as much as that person, you want that person to be for you. I think all these things are essential in that word reciprocity. But again, you have to communicate these things so that you guys create what is the norm for y'all in your relationship. You can't expect the person to magically know, for them to magically do. And so then when they are going over that line, like that's when you blow up. Like you can't do that. Like you have to talk about it, create that space. But then when you do create those boundaries for your relationship, to then in those boundaries, one, of course, you need to question those boundaries, and sometimes they may need to be moved, you know, stretched out or whatever. But also then within them, you have to question yourself and be like, am I reciprocating the things that I say I wanted to this person? You know, if they've been giving me things, yes. Have they been giving me what I need? Absolutely. Am I doing the same? You know, and I think that's the question sometimes that's hard. And I think as women too, sometimes we're like, oh, he's not doing this and he's not doing that and he needs to do blah, 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 blah. But have you been giving him what he's asked you for, right? And I think a lot of times men feel it, because I've of course heard it, but I think men a lot of times feel that their needs kind of get pushed to the side, or they can get stuff sometimes, but they don't have to get it all the time. So he'll be fine. But yeah, we want things done all the time, 100%. And that's not okay. That's not fair.
Because like I said, it's one thing as men, we just have to be able to, usually when women have the idea that we're supposed to do immediately, right? So if you have a complaint, I should automatically just jump on it, change it, right? But don't give grace and understanding it takes time. We're going to have to work it out. We're going to figure it out. And like you said, I think that a lot of times women are so caught up in what they want and their needs, and they just feel like, you happy here, man. You with me. I'm the prize. Like,
you are blessed.
What are you talking about? Like I said, like you say, it's very important for men to understand it's okay to express your feelings. It's okay to be able to get what you want out of a relationship as well. Take two to tango. Yeah, I think that's very important. I think that way comes with, like you said before, tip for tat. You did this for me, I did this for it, whatever. But it's the overall arching of we in it together, and we're going to figure this out together, and we're going to work together to try to get the common goal. If I'm not happy, it should be able to be a place where I can express that and figure it out. That's why I say it's very important to have date nights to keep that kind of friendship going. I think that friendship is very important in relationships because it helps with the ever flow in the relationship, right? We have some friendship there. And having those kind of, we talk about again, the card games, and just trying to find other ways, even watching a movie, a TV show.
Yes.
Don't bring dialogue in.
Mm-hmm. No,
you know what I'm saying? You watch a TV show and the conversation will come up. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I'm gonna give the ladies some tips, y'all. Okay. Now, there's some things you can do that is, what's the word I'm looking for? That doesn't feel like you putting pressure, right, on them to have a conversation. Date nights are cool, but we know sometimes people busy. You may not always get the opportunity like go out and like have a date night. But when you guys are spending time together, you can carve out that time, right? You can have the check-ins. The check-ins are more formal in the sense of like, babe, let's have a check-in. Call it what it is. Don't just sneak in there and be like, so what you feeling? Like, make those formal,
like,
okay?
You know,
mentally he can prepare, right? No, I mean, just say, babe, I would like to have a check-in with you tonight when we see each other, or whenever, right? Make it formal so he can prepare mentally and emotionally for what's coming. I think that needs to be formal, to be honest. And again, check-ins are not always, let me give you this list of shit that you ain't doing. So don't make it that either.
Yeah.
It needs to be addressed in the moments that they're happening. Don't wait for that one day to just tell them all the stuff. Don't do that. But I think it's important, of course, in the moment for things to happen. But the check-ins can be, hey, let's just do a review. Are there things we need to add? Some things we need to take away, and also give praise in that time too. Like, yo, you know, remember that last check-in? I think you've done better. Like, I think you've done blah, 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 blah. Or, yeah, I really love that I know I didn't in the moment get to say this to you, but I really appreciated the fact that you helped me. You know, you bought me some groceries. Like, thank you so much. You realized I was missing, blah, blah, blah. Like, take that time to not only address negative things, address all the things. And if nothing needs to be addressed, be like, I'm good, babe. Like, on some real shit, like, I'm fine. And that could be fine. And then boom, move on to the thing. Or you could use that time to play a card game, right? One of my favorites. They're not paying me for this. They should, but I love these. I suggest them to my friends. This is the date one. And this is the couples edition. They're called the And cards, and they're from Skin Deep. They have videos on YouTube, so you can watch people actually play this on the card game. I love these. And this is another way that is a nice way to kind of slide them conversations in, not to make it so serious. You know what I'm saying? You pull like 12 cards and y'all both take turns asking each other questions, but it gives you the opportunity to learn. You really do learn a lot about your partner and asking these questions. And you might have been with them for a minute. Y'all been talking, dating for a while, whatever the case is. And this is a way to, during your check-in time, you could say this could be part of it, right? Y'all on a road trip, right? Y'all just laying there, not really doing much. Be like, okay, let's pull some cards. And that allows you to not only gain some information about your partner, and you learn things, and then you connect on such a deeper level by doing that. And lastly, because everybody, you know, typically, men like to have conversations like, oh, babe, let's talk. Automatically like, something is wrong. I don't want to do this. Absolutely not. Right. But playing the card game, right? Or just like what Chad suggested, watch a movie. Watch like I love the docuseries Black Love, right? Watching other couples, right? Talk about their shit and whatever the case is. And, you know, I mean, I like to talk, so I got a podcast. You already know this. I always find a way to be like, that's interesting. But what you think about that? Right? But like, right, even watching a regular show, we might watch some regular shit and something happen. I'd be like, I don't know if I would have handled that. I would have done blah, blah, blah. What would you have done? Right. And that gives you perspective, that you learn new things. So there's tons of ways of doing it as opposed to be like, oh, well, we need to talk and blah, blah, blah. No, there's a lot of creative ways that you can talk to your partner and allow them, give them the space. If you're not good with like, you know, oh, how do I make this space feel safe? Then do it, maybe doing something that you know they like. If they like TV, find a show that they like, find something you can pull from the show to talk about. You know what I mean? Or find a way.
Create the vibe, create the atmosphere for the good dialogue. And that's very important. That's why it's very important to have those moments because, like you said, check-ins don't have to be too crazy, but also it allows the time, like, you know, you got 30 minutes. Can we talk? Like, it just give it a better sense. And I think a lot of relationships I saw that incorporated in that saw improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
So like, even the card games, you're talking about the one I helped out, Convo, she got a card game and 3 people got married off the card games. Just of the alignment of it, just the conversation of it. So I think it's very important to have these moments where you create a space to have real dialogue. Yes, just surface levels are cool. How was your day? Your day cool. My day was cool. Yeah, that's cool.
It's gotta be more than that.
It gotta be more to get a better foundation of partnership and friendship.
Yeah.
And I think that helps when it comes to creating a space where I can say something without getting attacked.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? But even that, you know, it's one thing where if you need to get a coach or you need therapy to help add more tools and have that conversation that you just not button heads with y'all, then you may have to seek outside support. But I think the main thing is having those conversations and be able to have a safe space to really express your needs and wants. And men, it's okay to have needs and wants. You're more than just a provider. You may have some things that you want to see more of. And if you're not provided, you know, providing don't necessarily mean financial, right? You can be emotional provider, but just making sure that you also not only to have a Superman complex, just got to save everybody, but you also get important into as well. And it plays for growth. And I think all relationships should have that place of we should always look like almost like a student. Like we always here to learn and grow and not get caught up like, I knew this, I know how to do this. Even me, as a coach, I still understand that who I date is going to be different. And I'm going to have to understand that person and get that person, not be like, oh, I know this. I can know technical terms all I want. But relationships are different when your feelings involved. So you got to make sure that you also understanding the grace and have the conversation that you're going to grow with this. It's two different people. You don't want a yes man, you want a yes woman. You want someone that you have definitely a good foundation to grow, something special, how long it lasts for.
For sure. And every relationship is different. But the most important piece of that is that every person that you become into a relationship with will pull out different things in you.
Yeah.
You'll learn different things about yourself. They'll make certain things, parts that were probably in the background, come to the foreground, and vice versa. So you have to be open and ready for that. You can't come in knowing, okay, yeah, this is what it's going to be. This is how it's going to be. And this is how, like I am. And
that's great. Yeah.
You just setting yourself up for failure or just a really, really, really difficult, unnecessarily difficult time. It's just going to be unnecessary. So already dropped a lot of gems, a lot of key points. I hope y'all was writing these things down, okay? But what else do you feel that you want to leave with our viewers and listeners so that they can take with them?
I think that what I take away is basically the bottom line that when it comes to men, it's okay to express their feelings, their thoughts. Hopefully the space is safe. And also as a man, it's okay being the bad guy. As a leader or however you want to perceive yourself, it's okay to feel like this not working for me and not being stubborn, but I have to leave and love yourself enough to walk away if it's not serving you as well. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And for the ladies, okay, don't say you are creating a space, actually create the space, let that man feel safe. All right. But I think the key component for both parties is not only communicating things, but be truthful in your communication. Don't sugarcoat shit. I think we do a lot of that too. Right. And of course,
the same thing to be spiteful. Exactly.
Of course, delivery is important, but be truthful in what you're saying. It doesn't mean that you don't fully say what you want to say. Fully say it. Of course, you can choose better words, but say it, right? Like be real about that. And I think that's also a difficult thing that we just don't do. It don't feel good. We don't want to hurt the person, but you have to say what you have to say so the person can actually hear what you're saying. And something I had to learn through therapy.
Oh, look at shout out to therapy.
Still learning is sometimes you might have to tell the person more than one time for them to hear it, and vice versa for men. Understanding, because just like sometimes women gotta tell you more than once, sometimes you have to tell them women more than once. More often than not, at least for me, I don't need to be heard to hear it more than once, but somebody will, right? So giving that person the grace that Kat mentions to be like, okay, just like sometimes when you at work, your boss gotta show you some shit 3-4 times. Understand that reciprocity. Give that person that space, that grace to be like, damn, okay, you gotta have to repeat that to me one more time. It be like this.
It be like that. Definitely great advice.
Chad, I thank you. I appreciate you for coming on once again. Tell us where we can find you and what's next for you.
Yeah, so you can find me on Chad Scott Here, Here, because not here. People are like, is he here? Chad Scott Here. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? That's how you look at it. I'm here as an outlet. I'm here to help, and I'm also here as a resource to find other people that help you in your situation. I may not be him. I may find someone to help you, guide you. That's where you can find me at. Thanks again for having me. We get into the outside's kind of open again. It's weird out here, but Kathy, you can. Yeah, it's well out here. But I'm partnering up with a lot of people to try to support them in the same alignment of relationships and getting those conversations happen that need to be happening. So if you catch me on Instagram, I'll be posting places that I will be as well, talking or supporting.
Awesome. And if you guys need some guidance, Chad Scott you do relationship coaching, and yours truly is also a dating, life, and relationship coach. So hit us up. You need some assistance. You feel somebody might need a little something. Hit us up. We're definitely here to help. But Chad, thank you so much. I can't wait till we record again. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this week's episode of the Oasis podcast. I hope you were able to find something that resonated with you on your journey. Don't forget to subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts and YouTube. Rate us and leave us a review and comment on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, and YouTube. Share your favorite episode and like us on Instagram and Facebook. If you have any questions, comments, want to be a guest, or any show ideas, contact us at ajaysoasis@gmail.com. That's AAYJAYSOASIS@gmail.com, or direct message us on Instagram and Facebook.